What would I want you to know if you could only spend 5 minutes with our podcast? Hi there, it's Mathew Blades, the host of Learn from People Who Lived It. And last week, we dropped an incredible episode with Theo Boyd. She is the author of the book, My Grief Is Not Like Yours. And yes, she had an incredible life, but she also had a few moments in her life that were an absolute horror movie, including that time where her father accidentally killed her deaf mom in a farming accident. Her dad went on to take his own life and die by suicide. And now Theo feels as though her mission in life is to help other people understand through her story. And there's a few shining moments in this podcast and a lot of tips and great tools in this podcast, including this moment right here where she talks about how she just needed to let her dad say what he needed to say after that accident.
And that night, he was saying horrible things. And he's a minister. You know, in my life, it was the chain of command was Jesus and Daddy. I was like terrified. So I texted my counselor. She said, I'm so sorry, but let him say the words that he needs to say. Those are the words that are carrying the weight of his pain. We as a society do not allow grievers to grieve in the way that they need to for survival, especially in sudden and traumatic loss.
Now, I know a thing or two about this because I lost my father very, very violently and unexpectedly. And so she is speaking so much truth in there. We really connected, Theo and I really connected on this thing that I've come to realize over the years, which is I'm glad I actually got to be there. I'm glad that I had to witness that because it didn't leave room for questions. I don't have the what ifs or any of those things playing out. And she actually recited this great quote from a movie that's really helped her, especially in those moments where she was the one who walked in and found her father dead on Father's Day. Listen to this.
And I don't know if people out there remember that movie, Still Magnolias, but it was one of Daddy's favorites. And all I can keep thinking about this moment is what Sally Field's character said about when she was in there, Malin, she said about being with her Shelby. The moment she came into this world was the most precious moment of her life. And the moment she left was the most precious. And I'm so thankful that I got to be the one to see my dad and get to spend that time with him. I was the first one to be with his body when it wasn't physically on this earth. And so I just am so thankful. And with my mom, I had so many questions of what it looked like and what happened. Was she face down? Was she face up? And I'll never know because I didn't get to see it, but God let me see it this time. And that to me is a gift. I got to see it. And there was no question because I saw the moments and it hadn't been altered or hampered or told to me second and third hand. I saw it firsthand.
I love that she can find gratitude in that super challenging moment. You know, one of the things that we did talk a lot about was the difference between sadness and depression. And I loved what Dr. Dave had to say about that.
There's usefulness in going through the sadness, you know, leaving space for it. When you allow yourself to sit with sadness, it kind of creates a quiet and it creates space for your thoughts to process things and to think through things. It kind of shuts down all the background noise because I think a lot of us go through life with, you know, filled with distractions and we never stop and take a look at where we're going and where we've been and the things that we're experiencing and just kind of push it out and not sit with those feelings. A lot of almost meditative time comes out of that. And you know, you talk about having faith. If you're going to hear God's voice, it's going to be in those still quiet moments. And allowing yourself to sit with sadness creates that space where you can get some of the answers that you're looking for, maybe.
Finally, what do you say to somebody when something like this happens?
Be specific in how you want to help. Don't leave a big open-ended question for the griever to have to decide, because honestly, at that moment, if you're in complicated grief, complex grief, now it's called prolonged grief disorder or PGD, you don't even know who you are. Your equilibrium is shattered. You don't even know where you work. It's hard to even function. So don't give them like, how can I help you? Because they have no idea how to answer that. So be specific. Go to the door and say, can I mow your lawn? Can I feed your dog? Can I walk your dog? Go buy groceries without even asking and come over and start putting them in the refrigerator. You've got to be specific in what you want to do. So just do it, is what I say. You want to do something and you're iffy about it, just do it.
Such a great conversation with Theo Boyd, and I can't thank her enough for coming on our podcast to discover and talk and just work through her grief in a way that I really do think will help other people. And if there's one tip that I could add to this whole thing, it's if you're really a friend to that person, do me a favor. Never stop saying the name of their loved one. We love talking about them. It's a way for us to kind of keep them alive in our heart and our mind. And so be a friend. Bring them up. Allow your friend, coworker, sister, brother, mom, dad, whoever it is, allow them an opportunity to talk about the person they miss. Okay. Thank you guys for being a part of Learn from People Who Lived It. Don't forget about a little review, a like, but most importantly, make sure you forward this conversation to somebody that you know needs to hear it. We'll see you guys next week for a brand new episode of Learn from People Who Lived It. Next time, we'll sit down with Lucy Oliver.